This demonstration is intended to help you with the process of setting up a site plan in the MicroStation environment for delivery to DOTD. It is not applicable to creating site plans using the En-ROADS product, which is an automated process. The first step is to create a site plan and to select an appropriate seed file as delivered with the DOTD CAD standards. To pick the appropriate seed file, I first need to make sure to pick one from the applicable seed files in the discipline subfolders and make sure that the file name does not imply that the seed file was designed for a specific purpose other than for site plan, such as title sheets, cross-sections, plan profiles, etc. Then I must decide if I need a 2D or 3D file. 2D files are recommended unless you need a 3D for a specific purpose. Files created without using an appropriate DOTD seed file will result in several problems down the road. So this is one of the most important steps in the entire process. All project files submitted to DOTD must be 100% compliant with the delivered DOTD CAD standards. So this is a critical step to getting started on the right track. Remember, non-compliant files will not be accepted by the DOTD. To create a valid site plan file in MicroStation Manager, I first need to select the New File button, and then use the Browse button so that I can select an appropriate seed file. For this session, I will select the Bridge Structural Seed 2D.dgn seed file, and then pick the Open button. I will then name the new file siteplan.dgn and save the file in the appropriate project location. Now I can open the new site plan file and begin the process of setting up a DOTD site plan. Before I open the site plan file, I do need to copy a couple of reference resource files to my correct project location. I need to copy the file Border Bridge Facilities Plan, which has been pre-attached to the site plan using the seed file. I need to place this border in the same folder as the site plan file. While I'm at it, I will also copy the preliminary stamp file, which is referenced by all seed files. If you forget these steps, MicroStation will not be able to find these files, and you'll have invalid reference file attachments. Anytime you scale, move, or rotate the border reference file, you will need to simultaneously select and manipulate the preliminary stamp file. Once the final orientation of the border is established, you can position the preliminary stamp as needed. The next step is to attach the survey reference file. So I'll go ahead and open the site plan file that I just created. Using the reference file dialog, I will right-click and select the Attach Reference File command, and I will navigate and select the file survey.dgn. When attaching a reference file in MicroStation, I need to select the coincident world orientation to keep the survey in its correct geographic location and verify that the attachment scale is set to 1:1. Now I will pick OK to complete this attachment. You may not see the survey until you issue a Fit View command to see both the border and the survey reference files. In this example, when I fit the view, you will see that the border is a dot on the left side of the view and the survey is a line on the right side of the view. I need to move the border reference file to the survey area of the drawing. I do not want to move the survey to the border area because I want to keep the survey in its correct geographic location. Using the reference file dialog, I will select the border reference file and right-click to access the reference file move command. Then I will issue a data point near the border and another data point near the survey site to complete the move command. I may need to repeat this move command a couple of times to get the files where I want them. Again, I will issue the Fit View command and fit all graphics in the current view. Now I can see that the survey and border files are in the same area of the drawing file. Again, just use the reference file move command multiple times to locate the border near the correct portion of the survey, and then use the Fit command to see the final graphics. I want to move the border near the project center line at the replacement bridge location in the survey file. Now I need to scale the reference file to the appropriate size. The scale of the final site plan can vary, so the border reference file is pre-attached at a scale of 1:1 by default. I need to determine the preferred site plan scale and apply that to the attached border reference file. In order to understand how to set the scale, I need you to understand how the borders were created and measured at the DOTD. All bridge facility borders, which are scaled consistent with the engineer scale and architect scale, are created in feet, for instance 22 feet by 34 feet. If the site plan will be printed at 1 inch equals 20 feet, I need to change the border attachment scale to 20:1. If the site plan will be printed at 1 inch equals 30 feet, I need to change the border attachment scale to 30:1. Road site borders were created in inches, for instance 22 inches by 34 inches. If the site plan will be printed at 1 inch equals 20 feet for a road site project, the border attachment scale must be 240:1, basically 12 times 20. Keep in mind that most road site plans are created automatically using inroads. It's important to know that CAD Conform uses this border attachment scale to determine the drawing scale used for creating, checking, and conforming to the DOTD CAD standards. So now that you are familiar with how to scale a site plan and have determined the area of the bridge site that we want to include in the site plan, I will now change the scale of the border to the required site plan scale. In this demonstration, my final drawing scale needs to be 1 inch equals 30 feet, so I will update the border reference file scale to 30:1. I will open the reference file dialog and select the Border Bridge Facilities Plan reference file. On the lower portion of the dialog, you will notice that the attachment scale is set at 1:1. I will modify this scale to 30:1 to scale the border attachment 30 times. Next, I need to align the border to the survey. Using the reference file dialog, I will select both the border and the preliminary stamp references, and right-click to access the reference file rotate command. Using the tool settings dialog, I will change the rotation method to by points so that I can define the alignment points graphically. Using this method, I need to define 3 points to define the rotation angle. The first 2 points will define the current angle of the border, which is at 0 degrees. And the third point defines the angle that I want from the first point. This will be along the center line or one of the lines of the survey. These 3 points define the required angle of rotation without having to perform any measurement or element information commands, and saves a considerable amount of steps. Now I will use the zoom out command to view the entire border graphics in my current view. I personally don't like to work in a rotated view, so I want to straighten out the view orientation so the border appears at an angle of 0 degrees. To do this, I want to use the border to rotate the view dynamically. Using the key-in browser in MicroStation, I will key in the command Rotate View by Element and select a horizontal border edge so the view rotates to align to the border horizontally. Once this is complete, select the File, Save Settings command to save these changes to the site plan file. Now, I need to clip the survey reference file to remove the portion of the survey outside the border. I will place a fence to define the survey area to remain. Using the reference file dialog, I will select the survey reference file and right-click to access the Clip Boundary command. I will issue a data point in the current view to complete the clip boundary. I will use the Fit View command again to fit the final graphics in my current view, and then I can close the reference file dialog. If you ever need to change the display extents of the survey in the site plan, all you have to do is reposition the border reference file and redo the clip boundary for the survey reference file. Another important note: Do not copy any of the survey elements into the site plan file. All survey data must remain in the reference file for the DOTD submittals. Place all site plan elements and annotation in the site plan drawing. Do not place site plan annotation in the survey file. Now I need to set the global line style scale. Using the MicroStation key-in browser, I will key in the command active line style scale 30 to modify the global setting in the new site plan file, and refresh the current view using the update view command and verify that the line styles display correctly. Finally, I need to save this change using the command File, Save Settings. When attaching a reference file in MicroStation, the active file's global line style scale setting controls both the active file and all reference files. This new functionality allows greater flexibility throughout the entire design process. After applying the global active line style scale setting, in some cases line styles still do not display correctly. This is normally a result of a hard-coded line style scale in the survey file. This is typical of older DOTD survey files in which the line style scales were hard-coded to a scale of 50. In this example, I will copy an old version of the survey.dgn to overwrite the version that I have been using for this demonstration. In this example, I will copy an old version of the survey.dgn to overwrite the version that I have been using for this demonstration. I will analyze a line style in that file to verify that it is hard-coded in this case. Then I need to remove these hard-coded scales on all the elements in the old survey file. First, I will select Edit, Select All to select all the elements in the old survey file. Using the key-in browser in MicroStation, I will key in the command Change Line Style Scale 1 and issue a data point in the current view to apply the line style scale of 1 to all elements in this old survey file. I next need to clear my selection set and verify using the Element Information dialog box that the line styles have been changed to a scale of 1 and appear as solid lines. Now what I need to do is reapply a new global line style scale to the old survey file. I will use the key-in browser again and key in the command Active Line Style Scale 50. You may need to use the Update View command to refresh the current view. If your line styles look correct, use the Save Settings command to save these new settings to the old survey file. Now I will open the site plan file. Remember, I have already set the global line style scale in this file to 30. Because I changed a hard-coded line style scale to 1 in the survey file, I need to toggle on a setting in the reference file dialog. If you open up the reference file dialog and select the survey file, you will see at the bottom of the dialog that the toggle for the scale line style setting is turned off. I need to turn this on and then use the Update View command to refresh the current view. This should correct the display of all custom line styles when using an old survey reference file. Now that my site plan is set up correctly, I am ready to proceed with adding details and annotation to my site plan file. Hopefully this short demonstration will help everyone with the preferred site plan setup required by DOTD standards. Following this process will help ensure that the project file site plans are created properly from the beginning of the project process. This process may also help you in dealing with some of your other drawing types.